And I'm back. So we were talking about your shadow versus little you. Which, your shadow is your ego, right? It's the one that tells you we gotta be doing this or we can't get that. We need to be doing everything like this or that won't work. It needs to be pumped up all the time, otherwise it can't prosper to do anything right. And it's really hard to step out of. And it's really scary because you realize how much control you really didn't have over yourself sometimes. And I don't mean in a wild way. I don't mean in a unstable way, and it could be. And if you feel like that, it is okay to receive help. Okay? I think people need to understand when you're going through this journey, and I explain this to my partner, that sometimes you're going to feel a little crazy dealing with all the versions of yourself, trying to figure out which version is you. And then you start to realize, oh, none of those versions were actually you because you never let the real you out, which is your inner child, your little you. The versions of you that you've been told you've had to be are the versions you've lived until now. So because your shadow has become accustomed to living those lives of the people, versions of you that you had to be until now, it's starting to realize, I don't really know if this is working out for me as much as I thought it would. And that's because your little you was never free the entire time. You just had control over it, slowly drowning it and muffling it. I talked to my therapist about this vision I had one time when I was meditating, trying to go through my spiritual journey the first time. Because just by the way, you're going to have a lot of ego deaths during this time. And I don't mean like figuratively. Sometimes I mean physically. Like you're going to physically shed off some things that do not serve you because it was only feeding into your ego. You're not going to like it. It's going to hurt. It's going to feel nasty. But it's also the year of the snake, so we're constantly shedding our skins, aka the versions of ourselves we thought we had to be to perform in a society that never worked for us. So now we're realigning with our little selves to recognize that the person we actually are is the person we were supposed to be the entire time while living in this society that's supposed to, keep us in a box. You can't hold energy. You feel it. You can't control energy. It flows on its own. And if you're constantly repressing yourself to maintain a version of yourself that was never real, you're gonna feel a little cray-cray. And that's okay, Kay. If you feel the need for professional help, please seek it out. This is only for entertainment purposes and advice. Okay, use your freaking discernment and stop feeding every little thing inside your head and telling you that it is you because it has to be you. It's exhausting, isn't it? Now imagine if you just let all that shit go. Who are you after all of that? Who are you without your shadow holding your little down? What does your little like to do? Mine likes to dance and sing randomly and make funny voices. Play video games and watch anime, because that stimulates their little brain, and I love it for them. I love it. I love going out in nature and just skipping around hanging with the trees, because I didn't get to do that as a kid. So now what I get to do? be free because I am an adult. One thing I think we forget about is in adulthood, you're able to do kind of whatever you want. As long as it's, not illegal, not hurting anybody else, not hurting yourself. You can kind of do whatever you want. But society tells us we can't because we have to be a model citizen. For who? Do you see the state of the world? Do you see the state of our country? I think being a model citizen is not main priority. I think helping yourself so you can help someone else is the priority. But again, when you're doing that, you're not doing it to feed your ego. You're doing it to feed your spirit. And if your little is telling you, hey, Shadow, I want to come up and have some fun, let them. Let them run wild. You are a free, spirited person. If you're seeing this message, if you're receiving this message, and if you resonate with this message, you're meant to be free. And does that seem impossible with, again, the society we live in? Of course it does. But do you see how many other people are trying to enjoy their lives being exactly who they want to be? That's called freedom. That's called freedom. Being who you want to be. Showing up how you want to show up. If you want to give out more, go ahead. Do that if you have the extra to give. But right now, Spirit's asking you to give back to yourself. Entertain your little. And stop feeding your shadow so much. And then wonder why your shadow hates you so much. I shouldn't say hate. They dislike that they can't be free. But they can't be free unless they collaborate with little you. If it's making sense, it makes sense. I try to explain it the best I can. And again, this is just me explaining it from my experiences in life. Okay? If you've been on my page, you've understood where I'm coming from. If you haven't been on my page, welcome. I have constantly dealt with narcissism in my life, and had told myself that the version of myself was never good enough because I never amounted to their expectations. Until I realized the only expectation I had to amount to was myself. The only person I had to please was myself. And then I realized when I started doing that, people really didn't like me. And I thought, isn't that weird? That because now I'm not pleasing you, you're not pleased with me. But I'm pleased with me because I'm pleasing me. For the first time. People aren't going to like that. And that's okay. Those aren't your people. People who are only looking to you to get a kick out of whatever you got going on, they're just an audience. They're just in the background. They're just in the background. It's all noise. I'm not saying be ungrateful to those people who taught you lessons. I'm telling you to tell them thank you for teaching you a lesson of how to be yourself. Write them a letter. And burn it. I've done many of those. It's very cathartic. I understand the battle of the light and the dark because I am it. We all are, and to an extent. Some people have more light, some people have more dark. It just matters of how it goes for them. What they lean into more. Does that make sense? If you wonder why people are so evil, that's just it. To them, it's easy to be that way. And for us, it's easier to be this way. We just are who we are. Continue for part 3.